Like Harris is. He's having another look at this to see where the ball actually breaks the stumps, which is there, and Jefferson is definitely short of his ground. So the red light comes on. Essex lose their first wicket. Jefferson run out for that good boundary through mid-wicket, but the Essex Eagles have lost their first wicket. They're 5 for 1 after 5 balls.
Quick single from Flower. They're going to drop the ball at his feet. Will Jefferson, there's a bit of hesitation. It's hugely good work from Nick Knight, and very, very brave too. He's diving in at the feet and the knees of a man who's running at full pace. Will Jefferson a little bit slow coming to respond to Andy Flower's call. He's gone for 4. Strike rate of 100. I think we're going to see plenty of that during this afternoon and this evening, I should say. And one thing picked up there, Bob, is the way that Andy Flower, I think, is going to play this. I don't think it's going to be crash bang wallop from him, certainly not for the first 2 or 3 overs. He's going to give himself a chance just to see how the pitch is playing, get himself in, angle a few, and then look to go hard later on. Ronnie Irani comes in, the Essex captain. I think he might have a different approach.
He certainly will have. It's not so long ago that Ronnie Irani was striding out at number 3 for England in one-day international cricket. That was the form at the start of the last World Cup campaign. Already he's eyeing up the leg side field. 2 slips in for Irani. Here's Pretorius. Off the mark straight away. 6 off the over. Really was a brave piece of fielding from Nick Knight. A bit like a goalkeeper going down at the feet of the oncoming centre forward.
Now just dropping it at his feet, and he calls the big man Will Jefferson through, who just hesitates, and that's what did for him. He couldn't get there in time. Nick Knight takes him out under the legs, diving straight through him. It's a little back flick with his hand. It's brilliant work, as you say, Bob, very brave. He's got the scout. Wickets the key for the Warwickshire Bears to help keep that scoring rate down, and the captain has led by example. Good over, though, from Pretorius. They just go for 6. Graham Wagg is going to open up from the other end. 21 years old, spent the winter on the academy, both at Loughborough and then on tour. That's his NCL career to date, only the 9 games. Point rate is high-ish at the moment, but he's a talented man. Just adjusting his field. Bit of discussion with Nick Knight, who's going to drop back into the ring. The 2 catches, still have to be 2 catches, don't forget, for the first 3 overs in these 10 over aside encounters. Dougie Brown is at leg slip, Dominic Osler is at first slip, so those are the 2 catches. Here's Wagg to Irani.
Well, Ronnie Irani had to get back quickly there. Just batting these days, the Essex captain's had to give up his bowling career because of a chronic knee problem. Surprised, Ian, how tentative the running between the wickets is from these 2 experienced heads.
They're always looking for one, get anything on it, a bit of bat, bit of pad, bit of glove, bit of leg. No way there was a single there. Graham Wagg just carrying on in his follow-through, very quick, low to the ground, and manages to keep Ronnie Irani on strike.
Comfortable single. Nick Knight happy to keep his mid-off and mid-on out on the fielding circle. Field changes for the left-handed Flower. Quite a pleasant evening now here in Chelmsford. There's odds against any cricket happening at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, when the rain was absolutely hammering down. True to form, the ground here dries quicker than any in the country. So we're underway. 10 overs aside. Here's Wagg to Flower.
I think we'll see some sensible batting from Andy Flower. It was certainly something that came for me from out of the 2020 competition. We know how to go about it to start with last year. First go at it. A lot of people saying that it was going to be a real smash and wallop. There's a bit more batting, a bit more culture to it. I think this is the way Andy Flower's going to go today.
Well, he's determined to have a look at the bowling first. It's a sign of a class act. He wants to just gather the pace of the pitch, indicating to Ronnie Irani. There's a little bit of swing there. You'd expect that from left arm over the wicket bowler with a brand new white cricket ball. Chase on the leg side for Ian Bell. 2 to the left-handed Flower. Very well supported in one-day cricket, Essex, and it's great reward for these people who've been here on the ground since well before the scheduled start of play, 1 o'clock this afternoon. And their patience has eventually been rewarded. Three off that over, 2 overs completed, 9 for 1. Wag 1 over for 3 and Pretorius 1 over for 5.
Tough to know what a competitive pass score will be here. Jefferson obviously the first to go. Brave bit of work from Nick Knight, the Warwickshire Bears captain, to run out the big man. Flower and Irani at the crease. Cook, Nasser, Sain, James Foster, Napier, Middlebrook, Brandt, Cowan, Canaria, the leg spinner, make up that Essex lineup. 9 for 1 from 2 overs, and already we've got a bowling change. Pretorius has been brought out of the attack. He's bowled 1 over, and 1 over for 6. Dougie Brown is going to bowl from the Hayes close end. Very important for these opening bowlers to control the amount of swing that happens. Certainly don't want to be giving any extras away, wides or particular no balls, with a free hit available. 217 domestic one-day games for Dougie Brown, so plenty of experience.
There's no fine leg for Irani, just the leg slip there. Dougie Brown just pushing the ball down the leg side into double figures, Essex eventually.
Tough to know what a par score here today, Bob, would be. Imagine 80, anywhere between 80 and 100 would be a very competitive score.
That's gone very high. Who's coming for this? It's got to be wicket-keeper Frost. No, it's the bowler Brown, and he takes it. That's his 250th one-day wicket, and Ronnie Irani goes. So 2 wickets down for Essex in the first 3 overs. 10 for 2. That went many a mile in the air.
Certainly did. Dougie Brown has 250 wickets. Ronnie Irani looking just to flip him over square leg. Fine leg was up. He's up catching. For all money, you would have said that the keeper would have had that, but Dougie Brown takes the responsibility. He's a caught and bowled. Irani, the captain, has gone for 2. Essex 10 for 2.
Pass it on.
Andy Flower on strike. It's nicely timed, but there is a sweeper out. Although only 2 players outside the circle for the first 3 overs. One of them's a sweeper out on the onside. Nasser Hussain's a new batsman for Essex. He made his way quickly out of the middle. The players have to in the Tote Sport League this season. Same requirement as in 2020. Get out into the middle quickly. Only 90 seconds allowed to elapse between the fall of the wicket and the next batsman taking strike. Brown to Hussein. That's nicely picked up by Hussein. He'll open his account with a very well constructed boundary. Once again, Brown straying onto leg stump.
Away first ball, Nasser Hussain, and away with a beautiful boundary. A lovely pick-up flip. No fine leg. Fine leg is up catching. He's at leg slip. And the man at deep square leg is Ian Bell, and he's a good 20-30 yards away from that. Just drifting onto the pads there, Dougie Brown. In fact, he's gone almost down the leg side, so Nasser Hussain has done fairly well to reach it.
Turned away in the same area. Very damp just inside that rope, but Bell's done well. Limited them to 2.
Nearly got away with it, Dougie Brown. If he can just get the ball a little bit further up underneath Nasser Hussain, that's what he's trying to do. But he's got his fine leg up catching, as I say, so he's got very little margin for error, at this level of the game, certainly with only 10 overs to spare. 2 balls of the first, or the fielding restrictions remaining.
It's bound to be a little bit of help for the seam bowlers. Pitch under the covers all day. Have a look at the end of Ronnie Irani. As you say, and he was looking to flip this on the leg side.
There's a shot of his, Ronnie. He plays it very well. I have to say, Dougie Brown wouldn't have been the man that I would have called to catch it. The man with the gloves, Tony Frost, who was standing next to him, I thought would have taken that, but Brown took the responsibility.
Hussein's off down the pitch, and he's beaten the cover field. Chase this time is from Graham Wagg. Left arm throw. Hussein running in treacle, but he makes the third.
To put the hard yards in there, Nasser, 36 years old, running for his life. Good shot, though, well thought out. No man out on the offside boundary. So Hussein comes down the track and just opens himself up, just gives himself a little bit of room to swing his arms through. And Wagg has chased it down. Remarkably fast outfield, considering the rain that we've had here at Chelmsford. 2 wickets down. Will Jefferson run out by Nick Knight, and Irani, the Essex captain, caught and bowled by Dougie Brown. So the first 3 overs have gone. The fielding restrictions can now be relaxed. Nick Knight can breathe a little easier just for a while. And it looks like we're having another bowling change. Neil Carter will praise his fellow left armer, Graham Wagg.
1 over spells is the order of the day from Nick Knight. Yes, it is Neil Carter. Hard-hitting top-order batsman in one-day cricket these days, having won that dramatic semi-final at Old Trafford off the very last ball of the match against Lancashire with an improvised boundary. Now let's have a look at the field. 4 men only inside the circle now. Another left arm over the wicket bowler. That's wide of the third man, but a good diving stop. DeWalt Pretorius down there, it's very damp. He's absolutely saturated.
At least he's doing it with a smile on his face. He might need somebody to bring him a towel. Nasser Hussain slicing it down to third man. It's very wet. Pretorius does well to get down, and oh dear, it's soggy there.
Looking for the Yorker.
Beautiful evening down here in Chelmsford now. We've had an amazing amount of rain throughout the day. The ground staff have done exceptionally well to get the play fit. Essex captain Ronnie Irani has come and gone. He was caught and bowled off Dougie Brown. Carter will continue to Andy Flower.
Turned away this time behind square on the onside. Pretorius is in his duck pond again.
Oh, who'd be a cricketer on days like these? Football boots are the order of the day down there at third man. He's done well. He's saved 4 both times. He's moved very sprightly round. Flower continuing in his orthodox manner.
Another single to Zimbabwe left-hander. So it's the instruction to Flower, Ian, just go out there and try and bat the 10 overs, and the other guys at the other end will swish away and try and slog boundaries. Is that what's going to happen?
Might be the way. I'm not sure how much Graham Gooch or Ronnie Irani would have instructed Andy Flower. I just think that's the way he plays. It's the way he plays best. He certainly tries to get himself in and then looks to explode a little bit later on. A little bit close to a wide. Trevor Jesty exercises his arms just there. Yeah, Flower will play that way. He'll nudge and nurdle it into the gaps. Is what he does so well in international cricket and domestic cricket. Hussein having a bit of a flap at that bouncer from Neil Carter. Called a wide. Extras will be very crucial here today, Bob, I think.
Slower ball from Carter. Trevor Penny on the edge of the circle. Still makes it into the Warwickshire one-day side, Trevor Penny. Players covering an awful lot of ground with this right and left hand combination. Flower on 6, Hussein's already on 12, 27 for 2, 2 balls left of the 4th over of 10. That's well bowled. Should have been well fielded as well. It wasn't by the bowler, so Flower steals a single. End of the 4th over. It's 29 for 2 now.
Ready, boys.
It looks as though it's going to be a continuation of these 1 over spells, not letting the batsman settle against any particular combination of bowlers, and this is going to be very interesting indeed. It's the Australian Brad Hogg coming into the attack at the Hayes close end. He really does give the ball a tweak. Doesn't matter what surface he'll be bowling on, he'll get it to turn. But it's going to be fascinating to see what field he's going to bowl to. Big boundaries on the leg side for Flower down to the pavilion. Must be the best part of 80 yards.
Important to get his field right, Bradley Hogg. He's having conversations with Nick Knight. Nick Knight is just instructing the fielders saving 1 to not bother to save 1 and sit tight back on the boundary on the edge of the circle. 4 players have to be inside it. Hogg's going to run in and bowl to Andy Flower. Here's his first ball.
2 men out on the leg side boundary. That's gone away fine. Jonathan Trott, after this one, he'll be sliding on that soaking outfield to bring the ball back. Trevor Jesty, the umpire at square leg, just having a word with Mike Harris about the legality of this piece of fielding. Just the bottom of the bat on that. Trot the fielder. And he's quite right to have a look, isn't he? And Mike Harris will be saying that that'll be a 4. It would have been rather nice if Trott had signalled the 4 rather than waiting for the umpire.
Come on, Hoggy.
Score.
Oh.
That'll go away for 4 runs. Brad Hogg looking philosophical about that.
2 4s off the first 2 Brad Hogg deliveries, but this was an absolute beauty. Flower looking to turn it on the leg side just to pick up 1. He's ended up picking up a bonus 4. It's gone straight through where first slip would have been. Prodigious turn for Bradley Hogg.
Reverse slap from Flower. Ian Bell down in front of the main scoreboard. 2 more to Essex's best player.
A great improviser against the spinners, Andy Flower. Here the reverse sweep, manages to catch it on the full, and he gets 2 runs for it.
Looking for the fine sweep again. Trot's there, no run.
I think Hussein had to go there, you know, Bob. I think that was a run. You just got to take a bit of a punt, perhaps not on a 45 over or 50 over game, but every single run is precious.
Flowers made that into a half volley and crashed it away through extra cover for 4. 14 off Brad Hogg's first over. Essex fans are enjoying this.
Great shot from Andy Flower. Oh, giving a little bit of air, pushing the ball through, trying to get some more of that turn, and Flower's just opened himself up and he's carved it through extra cover. Nothing even Trevor Penny can do about it.
Full pitch. Sweep again from Flower. He'll look for 2. It's a long way out there, but Wagg's got it in well, right over the top of the stumps. 5 overs bowled, 44 for 2. Change of ends for Dougie Brown with the Essex Eagles, 44 for 2. It's a very good over. Hogg's over went for 15. In the commentary box now, David Lloyd and Charles Colville.
Thank you very much indeed, Bob. First thoughts as we've watched these opening exchanges is the most important piece of equipment for any of the fielders. Looks like to being a life buoy, David. It's very wet out there.
It's in the outer, it's not too much of a problem, it's great fun. Bright sunshine and water in the outfield.
Well bowled. The other thing is we wondered how the leg spinners would go. Well, Hogg's gone for lots.
He just bowled a bit full, and he did that in practice as well. He's only got a maximum of 2 overs. Playing against Andy Flower as well, who's a terrific player of spin.
There he goes again. So Flower was really tucking into Hogg in the last over, but Brown is causing him some problems here. 3 dot balls so far, so this is a really good comeback for Brown. If you could come up with a maiden in a 10-over-a-side game, you would be a real hero.
I think a dot ball is a bonus in 10 overs if you can just stop the batsman scoring, because the fielders are on the edge of the circle. You can have one anywhere.
Another dot. Andy Flower struggling to get the ball away this over, but he was one of the stars for Essex in 2020 cricket last year. Had a very good campaign. At last he's away in this over. Should be 2 really here. Carter taking rather a long time to get the ball back to the keeper. So here's the Andy Flower 2020 story from last year. Average 53.
He's a fine player, world-class performer. But this is a good over for Warwickshire from Dougie Brown. Just a good finish now. He's only gone for 2.
Oh, that's well bowled again. Don't think it's going to be out though. It's got to have pitched probably outside leg stump. But only 3 runs from the over, so that's a really good over by Dougie Brown. He's bowled out now, 1 for 14 from his 2 overs, which under the circumstances is pretty good. Where did it pitch? Outside leg stump. Would it have hit leg stump?
Probably not. I think it's just angled away down the leg side. Decent shout, but it pitches outside. Good figures there from Dougie Brown. 2 overs, 1 for 14. Now, will Brad Hogg bowl another over? It looks as if he will do. This is his second and last. It's not, in fact, it's Ian Bell. So Brad Hogg has come out of the attack. Ian Bell, medium pace, nothing more than that. Right arm over. Useful, full length.
Yeah, I seem to remember last year we saw him taking 5 wickets, and I think we covered the game. It was down here at Chelmsford, and in an NCL game as it was then, he picked up a little 5 for. It was either here or at Edgbaston we saw him take a load of wickets. I think we saw him do it here.
Come on, belly boy.
Now here's Flower on strike. He's really got to get Hussein back on strike. Hussein's got 13 from 7. He's taken 21 balls to get his 25, Andy Flower. So Hussein needs to be batting and facing. And I think Nasser's, well, they're going to get 2. .49 for 2. Got to get Nasser on strike.
Well, this is a good partnership. 35 from 24 deliveries.
Come on, belly boy.
Andy Flower just surveys the scene, looks round. He's manoeuvred the ball. Played really well.
Full toss, slower ball attempted by Bell, I'm sure, and I guess Flower will think that he's missed out a bit there. He's hit it to the longest part of the field, and he didn't really hit it that cleanly, rather sort of mishit it. 50 is up though, 50 for 2 in 6 overs and 2 balls. But now I've got my way because Nasser Hussain is back on strike. 13 from 7 so far, including 1-4. No 6s yet. Well bowled.
This is what he can do, Ian Bell, as medium pace. Try and get your Yorkers in, bowl slow deliveries. He's bowled 1 slow delivery, which turned out to be a full toss, but it's effective. if it just takes the pace off. Field spread far and wide, but they look busy in the field, Warwickshire.
Oh, now that really, I think, probably was a chance. It was a bit of a hash of it, really, at mid-wicket by Graham Wagg. It was, dare I say it, an unfortunate goalkeeping error.
He's just not got hold of this. It's inside edge, I think, from Andy Flower, a thick inside edge. Graham Wagg, he's back on that circle. It goes right through his hands. He gets a touch on it. Yeah, no.
Was it over his hands or through him? Another attempted slower ball. Hussein's onto it, and it's 4. Flogged away.
Enjoying himself here, Nasser Hussein, and he's not got all of that either. Right at the bottom of the bat. Slow delivery again from Ian Bell. So Essex just getting away. They've only lost 2 wickets. They're coming to the end of the 7th over. Scoring rate is 8.5, 8.49.
Pretty rank full toss, wasn't it? Had to go. There's that slower ball again, and he's going to get 2 here, is he? No, they settle for the single. Again, it was the slower ball attempted by Bell. I like the way he tried to mix it up. But what's he gone? 12 from that over. The 4 was the killer ball. 59 for 2 after 7, and the partnership is 49.
And just 1 boundary in that over, so it just shows you if you pick up your singles and you turn your 1s into 2s, just keep the board ticking over all the time. 3 overs to go. Projected score, if they carry on at this rate, 89. Useful runs those. But I think they'll improve. I think they'll get more than this 8.43. They've got 8 wickets to play with.
Now, Neil Carter is going to have another go. This is the Alistair Cook fan club, I think. Carter's first over went for 9. Oh, that's into the sea, which is 3rd man into the lake down there. That's the 50 partnership, 60 for 2. Yeah, I think 90 would be a pretty good score. I seem to remember in these 10 over a side games in the past, 90 is often a winning score because the side that's batting second feel they have to go and they can lose wickets early on.
Pitch is quite incidental. The surface has been good. It's just 10 overs. It just may be that there are a lot of full tosses. You can see this and think, well, why does he keep bowling full tosses? What they're trying to do is get as full as they can, try to get the Yorker in. Sometimes it turns out to be a low full toss. Not the easiest to hit if you can change your pace as well. Just giving a run, you can have a single anywhere you like. The field is inside the circle, push right back. They're looking to save the boundaries here, Warwickshire.
Well, you've got to get 6 and over minimum, haven't you? Well, that's been chopped away, and that's 4. Extraordinary shot by Flower. He gave himself all sorts of room. It wasn't very elegant. It's his 4th 4. He's up to 36.
I think both these batsmen, Andy Flower and Nasser Hussain, have sussed out what Warwickshire are trying to do, bowl Yorkers and change the pace. So they're looking to get themselves outside leg stump to give themselves room for that full length ball.
There have been an awful lot of full tosses, haven't there?
You know, I'll tell you that teams will talk about getting it full more than often if you can. Get it as full as you like, and if it's a full toss, it's not too much of a problem.
Cover drive, that'll be 4. That's a terrific shot from Nasser Hussain. He's enjoying himself. Who says he can't bat at this pace? Nasser Hussain doesn't. 25 from 13. It's 71 for 2 after 8. Right, Pretorius is on for his 2nd and final over. His first went for 5. That was when The Eagles were very much finding their way. They're 71 for 2 now with 2 overs to go. It'll be a blazing finish, I'm sure, from Flower and Hussein if they can manage it. Hussein's 25 off 13. Flower 38 off 28. That was that crunching cover drive for 4. Great shot by Nasser Hussein. Last ball of the Carter over. Here's Hussein on strike again. Full toss, whipped away. Great stop. Hussein comes back for 2. He's hitting it well, isn't he?
Well, this is a more than useful partnership in a 10-over game. It's 64 from 37 deliveries, so Essex, you would think, are bossing the game. Nick Knight is at mid-off and he's just working his players, he's working his field.
Both these batsmen are absolutely right at giving themselves loads of room outside the leg stump. They're giving themselves a chance to get their hands free, so if it's bowled at all straight. So the Bears bowlers are almost trying to get it wide of the off stump, but not too wide, but just to make it so they toe it quite a lot.
Run a ball, the order of the day and minimum. Get 1 every ball. Both players, Flower and Hussein, are giving themselves that room for the ball that's very full because it's an easy pace pitch. They're not going to bowl short on here.
Kitchen sink cover drive. They're back for 2.
Well done, Nicky boy. Well done, Nicky.
Captain Courageous diving around.
Just need a couple of big boundaries. 78 for 2 is the score. Coming to the end of the 9th over. Only 8 boundaries have been hit.
Chipped away. It's only 1. 9 overs gone. 79 for 2. We have 1 over to go. 6 balls. What are they going to end with? 90, something like that? That'd be handy. Jefferson run out for 4. Irani caught and bowled Brown for 2. Flower 39 from 29, but Hussein, the one that has really caught the eye for me, 31 off 17, including 3 fours. Flower's hit 4 fours.
It's a little gem, is this, from Nasser Hussein. Scoring rate of 182. This is the last over. 10-over game. Hussein is on 31. Flower is on 39.
Just to say, it is an absolutely gorgeous evening now in Chelmsford. We have had some of the foulest rain you could have seen for the first part of the day, but now it's like the Costa del Chelmsford here. Here's Wag to bowl the final over. Responsibility for the young man. That's huge. Is it going to go all the way? It is. He's into the 6-hitting league, is Nas.
Well, as he enjoyed that, there'll be a big smile on his face. Come on, Nasser, turn around, son. He's got a good bat here. It goes many a mile in the air. You just think he's gone straight up, but he's given it everything. Well, he's entered the league. Sponsored by the Sun. Is he to 6?
Well bowled, well bowled. And oopsie daisy. Calm down, Nas. You're in the 6-hitting league now.
That's the Nasser we know. The smile on his face, hitting the 6 and just telling the bowler to get back and bowl. 4 deliveries. It's big 6 was that, 85 for 2. Just what they wanted. Can they get to 100?
37 off 19 for Hussein. Probably just 1. Oh no, they're coming for 2. Good running by Falah, and there's a terrible throw by Wag. Well, great work by Frost, who just saved 4 overthrows, and somehow or other they've got 2 out of it. What good running by Andy Flower.
3 deliveries have been bowled and 8 runs have been scored. 87 for 2 is the score. That's silly, hang on to it, hang on.
Well, after going for the 6, I think Graham Wagg has come back really well. 6.21 in this over. Young man we first saw when he was playing for England under-19s. He's top of that six hitting league at the moment. He had got 4 against Hampshire the other day.
It's a good finish. It's coming back well. All depends on this last delivery. It's a more than useful score, 88. Andy Flower will face this last delivery. He's on 39.
Full again. Going to be just the 1. So projected score was absolutely spot on. The Essex Eagles, after their 10 overs from the Chelmsford Sunlight, have ended on 89 for 2, with Flower and Hussein both not out 40. Flower's 40 took 31 balls, and Nasser Hussein's 40 21, and that is a very useful total indeed. And the man who's entered the 6 hitting league is Nasser Hussein, and he's now with Ian.
Certainly am. Nasser, well played. 89-90 to win. Is that a good score?
It seems all right. We'd have settled for that, but you never know when it takes one of their players to come off or one of our bowlers to bowl a good spell. It's one individual could win this game on either side, really.
You're into the 6 hitting league with that huge monster over long off. Well done.
I plinked it as well, so I'm #1 there. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Well played. Thanks a lot.
Thanks,
No, Nasser, you're not #1. Graham Wagg's #1 because he's got 4 of them. You've got a long way to go, but you're on the table. So Nasser Hussain not out 40 from 21. Andy Flower not out 40 from 31. 89 for 2. We never got to see Alistair Cook, which was a disappointment. We'll have to save that for another day. But the Eagles have got the runs on the board, and the Bears have got a bit of a stiff task to get these runs and win the game.
Well, a bit of stick as well, understandably, in a 10-over game. Pretorius with 2 overs, none for 13. Good effort, Graham Wagg. 2 overs, bowled really well at the end there, none for 13. 1 wicket for Dougie Brown, but a little bit of clatter for the rest.
So Essex have made 89 for 2. Warwickshire need a straight 90 to win. We'll be back here right after this short break.
He is a registered overseas player, not one of the non-qualified EU passport holders. Those economy rates are going to go up and up in one-day cricket. So 9 and over the Warwickshire Bears need. Nick Knight, one of the most experienced opening batsmen in one-day cricket, not taking his place at the top of the order. Neil Carter will be going all out to hit boundaries. 2 close catches are a short mid-wicket and a slip. 90 required. Carter's off the mark. It's a long boundary out there, but they're not going to be able to get back for 2.
Well, both of these can clatter it, Dominic Osler and Neil Carter. They know what they've to get. 90 wins the game. Experience of Dominic Osler, brought into this 10-over game at the expense of Mark Waugh. 264 matches for him. Best of 134. And he won't be blocking too many.
Same close catches for the right-handed Osler. Short mid-wicket and a slip. They'll only get 1.
It was interesting watching Brandt at practice. He did swing the white ball. They tend to do that, left-arm swing bowlers. Scott Brandt looking to bring the ball back into the right-handers, and there's a slip-in for the left-handed Carter. He's eyeing that leg side, Carter. Short mid-wicket, drops back onto the edge of the circle. Fine leg, comes up to leg slip. He'll have to get nearer than that if he's one of the catchers.
Trevor Jesty's telling him exactly that. But again, within 15 yards of the bat. Goes for that sweep, but it's off the pad. Danish Canaria, Essex's other registered overseas player.
This is his shot. That's where he'll look to play.
Big shout, but not out, says Graham Burgess. Scamper a leg by.
It's a touch of swing. Probably not done enough. It's just going to drift down the leg side. But Carter looking leg side. Scrambled a single.
3 overs of fielding restrictions in a 10-over contest. 2 overs maximum per bowler. Bowled round the legs this time. Osler looking to pick that up over square leg. Doesn't make any contact. The only contact is with the stump. So the Bears lose their first wicket. 3 for 1 in the very first over. And it's looking a pretty good over from Scott Brandt as well.
Basic cricket. Scott Brandt thinking, I'll bowl straight. If you miss, I hit. And he's done exactly that. Middle and off. Dominic Osler looking to whip the ball over square leg into that leg side area. Bears have lost the first wicket. Dominic Osler has gone for 1, 3 for 1.
Oh, here is Nick Knight now, the Warwickshire Bears captain. Not quite sure why he didn't come in at number 1. Very fine record in domestic one-day cricket, averaging 35, a massive 230 appearances, most of them for Warwickshire, but he did start his career down here at New Riddle Street, Chelmsford for Essex. Slipping a leg gully again. There's no fine leg, but we do have a third man. Comfortably away, and there'll be 2 here as well. Irani.
Let it go, let it go. Beautiful, Reggie boy, good, Reggie boy.
Struggling on the damp outfield. End of the first over, 5 for 1. Dominic Osler looking for that square leg area.
Scott Brandt full of length. He just advances down the pitch, Osler. He's looking to whip it into that leg side. It goes round the back of him. It's full enough. It just drifts, a little bit of swing, and it's middle and off that are disturbed. So Warwickshire lose that first wicket. Dominic Osler coming in first, which brings Nick Knight to the crease with Neil Carter. Ian Bell, Trott, Brown, Penny, Hogg, Frost, Wag, Pretorius, if required.
The Bears already up against it. Just 5 from that first over, so the required rate already very nearly up to 9.5 an over. Graham Napier with the responsibility with the new ball from the river end. Picked up 33 wickets in the National League last season, Graham Napier. That's a cracking shot. It's away past point and will go all the way.
Well, this is a super shot from Neil Carter. He's a dangerous player. Lower order batsman in championship cricket, but in one day he comes in first. He doesn't look for singles. He looks to beat the ball, looks to find the boundaries. He's immensely strong, and that's 4.
Oh, that's a massive hit. It's a big boundary out there today, but that's sailed straight out of the ground, off the top of the grandstand. That's a maximum.
It's not big enough over there. Napier just short of a length at medium pace. Ball sits up nicely. Carter again. Out of here, way, way out. Whoosh. He'll be dangerous in this 6 hits. Neil Carter comes in first. Looks to take advantage of what would normally be the first 15 overs. Where's the ball?
Quick chat between the two batsmen. That 6 has helped a lot to get Warwickshire back to the required rate. That ball hasn't been retrieved, so there's a slight delay while Graham Burgess gets another ball. Napier to Carter, who's on 11. Won't reach Irani at mid-on.
Do you know, we've just had that delivery there, and Graham Burgess had been for a new ball, and it wasn't anywhere near in position at square leg. He's just walking in. I've never seen it. An umpire was running in from that point position, and he's got himself into a square position now, stood next to Irani. It's nowhere near.
Knight's on 2. No run this time. Good comeback from Napier. 11 conceded from 4 deliveries. Warwickshire needs 74 from 50.
Just below the original rate was 9. It's 8.88 required from now on, and you've just got to keep going.
Bit of hurdling from Neil Carter.
You can cause some damage in these 3 overs of fielding restrictions. Only 2 fielders allowed outside of the 30-yard circle. Somebody like Carter with a bat in his hand, he's looking for the big ones all the time.
That's a glorious shot away through extra cover. Canaria's after it, but he's already given up the chase. Much better over for the Warwickshire Bears. 21 for 1 after 2.
And 16 runs from the over. So this is a smashing start. Literally from Carter. Carter's 16 from 7 with 2 4s and a 6. Essex with 10 for 1 after 2. Warwickshire off and running.
Well, it's good to see Ashley Cowan back on the field for Essex. So Irani following Nick Knight's lead, giving his bowlers just 1 over spells at the start of this short 10-over innings. Cowan in action from the Hayes close end. Just 1 more over of the fielding restrictions. No slips now. The giant Jefferson is in at short extra cover, and Canaria's still at leg gully. Very much token close catches. They have to be there.
Yes, well.
I mentioned earlier that if a bowler can just restrict the score, a dot ball, it does put a little bit of pressure on the batsman, because that's what they're looking to do every time, to score a minimum 1. Now they've tightened the field. I think that's a good move from Irani. They've tightened the field. They're looking to stop the single.
Carter doesn't really deal in singles. He's looking to beat the ball over or through this infield. Slower ball from Cowan, but it's very wide down the leg side. Experiment didn't work.
Talked about looking to save the single. That's been abandoned immediately. That mid-wicket is shoved back onto the edge of the circle. Irani is at mid-on the edge of the circle. Andy Flower at mid-off on the edge.
That's very well bowled. Too good for Carter this time. He departs for 16. It's 23 for 2 after 2 overs and 2 balls. This match right back in the balance.
Well, a slow delivery and down the leg side from Cowan for a wide, and then an effort ball which is bullseye straight and straight enough for Carter. Dangerous player, Neil Carter, looking again to play that big shot, but the ball pitches and nips back and does him leg and middle. So that's a timely wicket for Essex, courtesy of Cowan. Carter has gone for 16 and it's 23 for 2.
Ian Bell joins Nick Knight. 23 for 2, the Warwickshire Bears. They need 90 for victory. First wicket fell at 3, the second then at 23. Good start to a domestic one-day career from Ian Bell, averaging very nearly 37. This is the last over of fielding restrictions. So quite a lot of thought going into the field placing in this third over. It's wide of off stump this time, but Graham Burgess has let Cowan get away with that.
This is the end of Neil Carter. It's a ball of full length and he's looking to whip away. It doesn't look like it, but he's looking to score through the leg side. Leg and middle gone.
Angled away by Bell. He's off and running.
Another look at that dismissal of Neil Carter from stump camera. Stumps are disturbed. It did nip back. One for Cowan.
Nick Knight eyeing up that leg side boundary.
Yep.
That nips back into him as well.
Come on, boy.
25 for 2 in the third over. 1 ball left of fielding restrictions. Then Ronnie Irani can relax a little bit. Good looking shot from Ian Bell. It'll just be the one. That's the end of the third over, the end of the fielding restrictions. 26 for 2.
Essex were 20 for 2, so Warwickshire in front at this stage. Two established players at the crease, certainly in Nick Knight, all that experience. And they've got a left-hand, right-hand combination, which is also good. Just doesn't allow the bowler in his 2 overs maximum just to settle against one batsman, and the feature will be from both these batsmen. We talked about looking to score off every ball, just to rotate the strike, look for the single, but you're also looking for the big shots. Now again, this is good. Canaria, leg spin into the attack.
Well, there was no luck for Brad Hogg when he bowled for the Warwickshire Bears. The wrist spin didn't work for them. His 1 over went for 15. Let's see how the Pakistani international goes. He's got cover out on the offside boundary, just in front of point, right out on the fence. Long off and long on are already back. There's a deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square. Bell's got that away fine. Chase for Irani, but they're back for 2.
I think both these players will look to play the sweep often. A premeditated shot there from Ian Bell. Irani is at short, fine leg.
Canaria not giving the ball as much air as Brad Hogg did for the Bears. But Warwickshire comfortably getting 2 from the first 2 deliveries.
And both shots have been played behind the wicket. Offside, then that little sweep down the leg side.
Well, there's some bat on that.
Danny boy.
Foster couldn't hang on to it.
No, they'll look to play these sort of shots as well, because there's no slip in there. It will spin, it turns just a touch, comes off Foster's thigh. No slip. There are 4 good points to be had for the winner of this game. It's been very patient stuff throughout the day with rain, but it's beautiful now. But there are 4 points just on offer.
Worked away. Flower in from deep backward square.
It's a good over, is this? Just got to finish it off. 2-2-1, dot ball 1.
Turn there for Canaria. Graham Burgess just checking with Mike Harris, the TV replay umpire. There's no alarm from Bell, dare I say.
It's a good piece of bowling from Canaria. A little bit quicker than we saw from Brad Hogg, 53 miles an hour. Does he drag out? He does drag out, but he gets back. Third umpire will have a brief look at this. Move on.
.32 for 2 after 4 overs. Easy to work out that the Warwickshire Bears are going along at 8 and over. They needed to go at 9 and over throughout the innings. Change of ends for Graham Napier. He's on at the Hayes close end now. He took the new ball with Scott Brandt from the river end. Nick Knight's on 6. Off down the track, but he makes no contact. And Napier picks up a very important wicket. Nick Knight, bowled by Graham Napier for 6, and a spot of bother now for the Bears. The visitors 32 for 3.
It's nearly 10 and over now. Nick Knight gives himself a touch of room outside leg stump, and Graham Napier, once again, it's full and it's straight, and if you miss, I hit. A bit early to say too much bother, but the 3 down. Nick Knight's gone for 6, 32 for 3.
Big blow that for Warwickshire. Their captain dismissed. I was rather surprised to see him come in at first wicket down rather than at the top of the order. All 3 victims bowled.
It's one thing that you would talk about in your little team talk before. Medium pace bowling, get it full, get it straight. They can do what they want. They're going to score runs, they're going to look to hit you. But if you bowl full and straight and vary your pace, if they make a mistake and miss, you're in business. Now Graham White, 21 years of age, comes to the crease. Touch of gloves with Ian Bell. So 2 youngsters at the crease now for Warwickshire. Can they just manoeuvre this game and this situation? And the required rate now is 9.94.
That's 1 leg. 5 left.
Graham Wagg at the top of the Sky Sports Sixes League at the moment. Before today's matches.
Look in, no!
There's never 2 there. This was the situation in the Sky Sports Sixes League, sponsored by the Sun newspaper, before the start of the matches today. Graham Wagg at the top of the list, 4 sixes, just 17 balls faced. 3 of those off Shane Warne, he'll remember them. Mid-on's deep on the edge of the circle, that's Irani.
I think it's fair to say when you look at that 6-hit table that there are 1 or 2 pacemakers in there. I'm sure it will just get serious as the season progresses. Oh, Graham Hick in there. It'll be dangerous.
Very good bowling indeed. Difficult start for Graham Napier, but he's come back well in this, his second and indeed final over.
10.5 now, required rate.
The Essex Eagles will settle for this. They're not conceding boundaries at the moment. And the run rate, as David Lloyd was telling you, escalating all the time. One a ball's no good. It's very nearly two a ball now.
This is an excellent over from Graham Napier for all young pace men, pace bowlers. Just get it full, get it straight. That's exactly what he's done, and he's only gone for 3, and he's picked a wicket up.
That's a superb comeback by Graham Napier. His first over went for 16 runs, but he finishes with 2 overs, 1 for 20. So that's his bowling work done for the day. Napier 2 overs for 20. The Warwickshire Bears are 36 for 3. Warwickshire need a further 54 from 30 deliveries. 5 overs to go then. 54 runs required by the Warwickshire Bears. To talk you through the concluding overs, here are Ian Ward and Charles Colville.
Thanks, Bob. Well, we had an over of leg spin from the river end last over. Now we're going to have an over of off spin, James Middlebrook. So Ronnie Irani ringing the changes, and he's not afraid to give his spinners a go. The pressure now on these two young Bears batsmen, Bell and Wagg. Bell on strike, goes for the reverse. He's only going to get 1. And it just seems to me, watching this, Ian, that at this stage, Essex were in the hands of Nasser Hussein and Andy Flower, 2 highly experienced cricketers who knew what they were doing and knew how to improvise. Now, it'll just be interesting to see whether these 2 younger cricketers, who are nowhere near as experienced, can do the same job. I somehow wonder.
They're dealing in ones. 2 there. Fumbled down there at long on.
Well, that's experience, isn't
Jefferson.
it?
But they're improvising okay. You know, a few reverse sweeps and a deft touch from Ian Bell here and there, but they're just not finding the boundary, and that's the difference. Coming down the track again, and he's hit the fielder, so they're dead right. They did have a lot of experience there, but they just can't get that boundary away.
Well, the thing is, they're playing proper cricket shots here. Well, I think Flower and Hussein were much more outrageous.
Bell will pick up 2 here. Manages to elude straight mid-wicket. Gets it wide of Will Jefferson, who's patrolling the long-on boundary. The big strides has taken him about 25 metres very, very quickly. Andy Flower certainly played some interesting shots, and Nasser Hussain managed to clear the rope towards the end of his innings, and that final spurt really gave Essex a good total.
That could be out. No, it's just over the man at mid-wicket. They're going to get another 2 at least. Good sliding stop by Jefferson. And I must say, again here, these 2 youngsters aren't running aggressively enough. There was a chance there, and they've got to take a risk or 2 to really put the fielder under pressure. I think there might have been a 3rd there.
I think Ian Bell will consider that he should have hit that for 4. Managed to get it on the full, just didn't time it. If he timed it anything like, it would have raced away to the boundary.
Now this could be out. And it is. There's a big problem if you try and go over the top of Will Jefferson, because he's taller than the Empire State down there.
And his head's up with the top row of the crowd there. Ian Bell has caught that right on the toe of his bat, and it has gone nowhere really. Quite a short boundary down there. He's just not nailed it. It's got nowhere near the middle of the bat. And Will Jefferson, well, would have probably gone over my head, but he's 6'10". I'm not. Middlebrook has his man. Ian Bell goes for 14 from 14 deliveries, 42 for 4.
Well, if I was complaining about the lack of experience in the middle, that's all been put to rights now, because here's Trevor Penny, a man of huge experience, played masses of one-day cricket, a lot of it for Warwickshire, through their glory years when Dermot Reeve was in charge. Scott Brandt is going to have a bowl from the Hayes Road end of the ground, Hayes Close end of the ground. It's his second over. His first went for just 4. And this over could make or break the Warwickshire hopes. They're going to get 2 there.
They've got it comfortably. And even with Trevor Penny at his age, you're not going to run him out, or you're going to do very well to run him out, because he is lightning between the wickets. Here's the wicket of Ian Bell. Just didn't get it. Simple as that. Managed to get it on the full toss, but didn't get it in the middle of the bat. Jefferson made it look very easy. Oh, that's what I should have done.
Dropped. Great effort, but dropped.
It's the evergreen Nasser Hussein. That short fine leg. Wags whipped it round the corner. Nasser Hussein floundering, much like Robinson in the goal of his beloved Leeds United this season. Brandt's not happy.
Been a bit harsh, although that was a great effort. Kept it out.
Just wonder if they got the batting order right here, Warwickshire, as we look at the former England captain Nasser Hussain, who goalkeeper dived to stop that one. Just wonder why the captain didn't come out first himself and batted number 3. He could have been the Andy Flower role, bat through, play some different shots.
Muscular shot to deep mid-wicket, only 1 though. Warwickshire need 44 from 20 balls. They need some spectacular hitting. They need some 4s and 6s.
Good work, Andy. Good, Andy. Taking them. Good.
Good decision to say no. Andy Flower was closing in fast on the long off boundary. Good shot of Nick Knight up on the balcony there. Looks as though he's made another dodgy decision at the toss, Charles.
It's good bowling by Scott Brandt. I think Essex have bowled better than the Bears.
Certainly a good over there from Brandt. 48 for 4, excuse me. 42 to win from just 18 deliveries. So with it all to do, Cowan Canaria and Middlebrook are the bowlers who have yet to bowl out. Middlebrook will this over. 1 for 6 he has from his 1 over. Trevor Penny will take guard. And you feel they need a big over, and they need it now.
I was going to say, this has got to be the over. This is the one that has to go for the Warwickshire Bears. And there's Trevor Penny straight down the ground. And that's a maximum. This is the over that has to go. That's the perfect start. 6 off the first. Trevor Penny keeps doing that, and the Bears will be right back in it. How's Middlebrook going to respond? Oh, now that could be a way. I think there'll be a man just getting round to cut it off, but Trevor Penny's going to get 2. Wag wants 3. This is going to be tight. That's good, I'm sure. Well, Graham Wag has sacrificed himself in an attempt to get the 3rd. One of those questions, isn't it? Would he have been better off making sure that Penny was on strike?
Don't know. I think he's just got to go for everything he could. It's quick work from Foster. It was good work in the deep. And Graham Wag has gone, as you say, sacrificed 7 from 7 balls, 56 for 5. Brad Hogg will be the new batsman. Interesting enough, Charles, there's only been 4 boundaries, 2 4s and 2 6s in this innings, and so far that is the difference between the 2 sides. The Essex Eagles batsmen in the form of Irani and Andy Flower managed to find the boundary. Well, just when they were struggling, they seemed to get one away. The Bears haven't managed that. It's great fielding, reversed hand pickup, quick turn on a slippery outfit, and he's rifled one in. 1 bounce to Foster, who's only got to lean forward and whip the bails off. Can't blame Wag, he had to go for it.
Right, well, the new batsman is Brad Hogg. And he needs to do some spectacular hitting here. But I think his first task has just got to be to get Penny on strike. Done that satisfactorily. And now Trevor Penny has to see if he can't just lob a couple more out of the ground. They could get another 12 off this over. That would be very, very handy. Well bowled by Middlebrook. No chance for Penny to get it launched. He has to settle for the single.
Hogg's a very talented man, both with the bat and ball. It's a big ask to come in and start hitting boundaries straight away without getting any sighter. Again, he's just managed to get Trevor Penny up on strike. I didn't think about two, but definitely not. One ball remaining in this James Middlebrook over. Fancy the Bears need a boundary.
11 runs from the over so far. The over's gone 6-2, 1-1-1. Out. Trevor Penny taps the ground with his bat in disappointment. Frustration for Trevor Penny, frustration for the Bears. I think the Eagles are beginning to take off here.
Another toe end of the bat. We saw Ian Bell not get hold of his and get caught by Will Jefferson. Well, Graham Napier's the catcher this time. And it's the end of Trevor Penny's bat that has found the man. 11 from 7 deliveries. 59 for 6. Just looks a bit frenetic, doesn't it, Warwickshire, at the moment. It's not beyond the realms of possibility that this could be turned into a victory, but wickets obviously not only stop people scoring, but it brings a new man to the crease, someone who's got to come in and settle. As we watch the tame demise of Trevor Penny.
Tote Sport League, I'll give you long odds here on a Warwickshire victory. 31 off 12. Nah.
He's always been Charles, you know that. Still just the 4 boundaries in this innings, and that really is the key. 16 from Carter from 8 deliveries. Bell made 14 at a run a ball. But Knight and Osler going for 1 and 6.
Well, I just think that Essex have bowled better. They've not bowled nearly as many full tosses, and where the Eagles batsmen were so clever, where Flower and Hussein got it right, was with all those full tosses that were coming down. They were giving themselves room, and they were being able to just get them away. They were slicing them away. They were hitting them to unlikely parts of the field, and they were getting boundaries that way. Now Hogg on strike, facing Ashley Cowan. That'll be a wide.
Oh, I think Ashley Cowan will be a little bit disappointed with that. He's running back to his mark because he knows he's got to get the overs in, but Brad Hogg backed away. And Cowan, I think, saw him and just kept it at the line. Bit harsh on the bowler, perhaps. 30 from 12 deliveries.
Still only going to be the one. Right, Jonathan Trott taking guard, getting himself ready. He's a great talent as a batsman, South African, who's qualifying to become English and wants to play Test match and international cricket for England. Burst onto the scene last year in a blaze of welter of strokes. Now here he is facing Ashley Cowan. That's a pretty good shot, and I think that's going to be away for 4, or is it just going to hold up on the outfield? No, that's 4 for Trott.
What a start. What a shot. Only one way to play at this stage, so it's pretty obvious what the tactics will be. Not enough time to assess the pace of the pitch or what Cowan's doing, and he's done it perfectly. Trott, great shot through extra cover.
25 needed, 10 balls to get them in. Well bowled by Ashley Cowan, an outrageous slower ball. Trott could have played 3 shots at that and he still would have been early.
He's rushing back to his mark. Ashley Cowan, he enjoyed that. Completely foxed the batsman straight out the back of the hand, a la Ian Harvey. Beauty.
Should only be the 1. They might get 2 actually. They're coming back for it. It's a bit squarer than I'd initially thought.
Always got to push hard for 2 there. 23 from 8. Boundary here makes it very, very interesting. The crowd have stayed to watch it, bathed in sunshine now. Perhaps not those lucky folk. They're in the shadow of the pavilion.
Another slower ball. The slower ball's causing real problems. And Cowan is bowling it extremely well. Great to see Ashley Cowan back and playing cricket again after the horrendous injury he had. Major back operation.
Straight out the back of the hand. Say a la Ian Harvey. And when you take that much pace off the ball as a batsman, you've really got no pace to hit with it. Brad Hogg needs to pick it if it's another slowie. Big in-swinger. He's done well to get it down there, and there's a bit of confusion. Nasser Hussein just a tad slow coming round to collect that from third man. So 2 from the final ball. 20 from the last over.
And it's going to be the leg spinner Canaria who's going to bowl that final over, so that makes it just that little bit more interesting. Ronnie Irani throwing down the gauntlet. That's Ashley Khan. His 2 overs, 1 for 16. In fact, he was out with a very serious knee problem, not a back injury. He had a major knee surgery. And great to see him back and playing again. Now then, Canaria, the leg spinner. Here's a little challenge. Trot on strike. Another wrist spinner in Hogg at the other end.
Field is spread far and wide. There's lots of arm waving. Nasser Hussain and Ronnie Irani are just adjusting various fielders.
20 needed from 6 balls.
Yeah, we're targeting an area here. That's what Trot here, well, the batsman's thinking here is, I've got to target an area, I've got to get a solid base, and I've got to swing for all I'm worth. And I fancy he's going cow corner, straight over the top of Nasser's head, down there to the right of Will Jefferson, who's at long on.
That's straight out the ground. Jefferson's trying to get under it. He can't get there. Right, I was about to say that hit the first 3 balls for 6 and it gets interesting. Well, there's one of them.
Perfect. Right in his arc. Got a solid base. Didn't nail it. He didn't really get hold of it, Trot, but he got enough bat on it and he cleared even Will Jefferson. It's gone 6 rows back. That makes things just a tad interesting.
14 off 5. Is the Irani decision to bowl Canaria going to be flawed?
They'll push hard for 2. He's got to go. Hogg has got to go, and he has done.
Good work by Foster.
2 6s wins it, Charles. Simple game.
Just shows you why I'm not a gambler. I gave you no chance. Oh, Ronnie. I've given you a chance to have a bowl. I've given you a second over. Get it right.
Trot's just making Canaria wait here a little while, which isn't a bad thing to do. A few mind games going on out there. A solid base is what he's after again, and swing through the line.
Ooh, we thought that was it for the moment. They're coming back for 2. They're coming back for 2. They're in. Canaria doesn't seem to be great at tidying up off his own bowling when it comes to picking up these returns. 10 from 3. This is definitely on. Another boundary now, and life gets very interesting. Is Jonathan Trott going to make a name for himself? 17 from 7 balls. 1-4, 1-6 to him. Needs another one of either. He's only going to get 1. Oh, he's going to get into trouble. I tell you, Canaria is not great at tidying up these returns. It's almost worth a punt.
I've got to say, Brad Hogg there has had a shocker, because he had to get back for 2. He saw the ball before the throw was wide. Canaria, as you quite rightly said, Charles, doesn't fancy it behind the stumps tidying things up. Hogg had to take that. He had to take that extra run. That would have been 8 from 2, and that's 2 boundaries, 2 conventional 4s to win it. Now he's got to hit a 6. He's got to hit a 6. So I think Bradley Hogg has made a mistake there. He's left himself on strike. He's got Trott away, who's made 18 from 8 balls, and they now have to hit a 6.
Canaria might bowl the googly here. He may not want to bowl the leg break and go towards the scoreboard. Oh, that was short, and he's only got 1 from it. And unless there's a no ball, now a no ball would be tasty at this stage, just to up the pressure.
Not a chance. This was the opportunity. This was Hogg and the Warwickshire Bears' last opportunity. A short ball. He needed to plant that about 12 rows back. And he crossed it into the infield. And Canaria has held his nerve. 1 ball to go.
Do you think Danish knows about the free hit rule? Well, that's it. Trott unable to get that away, and so the Essex Eagles have won this game, and they've got their first points of the season in the Tote Sport League. The Bears are still looking to get off the mark. Nervous moments, I think, for Ronnie Irani and for the Eagles. They had got a little concern when Canaria went for that 6 off the very first ball. But I think it was the Nasser Hussein 40 that set this all up, along with the Andy Flower 40. 90 was always going to be a competitive total. And Warwickshire end up 7 short, with Canaria 2 overs, 0 for 19. I'm just wondering whether he enjoys 10-over cricket.
I'm not sure how much he would have played of it. There's Big Ron. Big Ron will have a smile on his face. He'll be telling every never in doubt. Always knew we could hold our nerve. It's been great to see some cricket, though. We really didn't think we'd see anything today. It poured down earlier. The ground scarf mopped up nicely, and we ended up seeing a great contest. They're exciting, these shorter games, aren't they? We saw it with the 2020. Essex Eagles winning by 6 runs. It really was very close.
That's the way ahead, Ian. We'll have 20-20 and 10-10.
That means I don't have to play any more 4-day cricket, Charles. Now he's won the toss and he's inserted the opposition again, and you're going to make a point to him again in the car park on the way home, aren't you?
You say a word, he'll probably hit me if I do.
No right or wrong in these sort of games. It's a difficult call. So little experience of these games. But it was not enough from that Warwickshire side with the bat. Neil Carter, 16 from 8 deliveries, a few fireworks at the top of the order. Dominic Oster and the captain Knight going cheaply. Bell made a runner ball 14, but it wasn't enough. Hogg and Trott really needed to get back on strike with just 2 deliveries remaining, making 19 from 9 deliveries, 83 for 6 from their 10 overs.
Let's have a quick look at the bowling figures. I thought Scott Brandt was outstanding. 2 overs, 1 for 10. Napier 1 for 20. Cowan also good to see him back, as we've said before. 1 for 16 from 2. Canaria 0 for 19 from his 2. And Middlebrook, the off spinner, catch it deep, deep long on, and one at mid-wicket, 2 for 17. So Essex are the winners. They've won this 10-over-a-side game by 6 runs. They take the points.